So, good afternoon, almost afternoon for everybody now. And I know that it's not very good position to stand here now when the lunch hour has started. But nevertheless, I think you need to stay the next 20 minutes or so. I try to be pretty fast and skip most of the notes and only read the slides. But first, I think that I'll present myself a little bit. Here. Myself because I only have met a few of you earlier. And I have been working for Karelia University of Applied Sciences and this Invest for Excellence project only from the end of January. And why I basically wanted to say something about myself and about, of course, about the differences between the environment we are coming from. So we are basically living in the middle of the forests up in the north. And it's very different compared to, for example, this place here. But nevertheless, we have many similar issues we are very interested. One is, of course, environment and sustainable development. Disasters because of climate change and how to tackle those. And how we can effect the European Union policy together and reach the target which European Union has set for us. But the other reason was that concerns my background. I have worked for some 25 years maybe at the Science University. So it was very much about, of course, theories, research, science cooperation, but then also starting European-wide Erasmus Mundus master's programs. Okay, you can say if you can't hear. And in those days, long time back when they started, it wasn't clear at all, is it possible to give double degrees, for example. And for example, in our university, the lawyers, they said finally that we are washing our hands from this project, do what you want, and if you sign something, it's up to you. So then what we signed, we just had to take the risk and everything went nicely. And now we just wonder why it was so difficult for lawyers, for example. So I think we are facing now a little bit similar situation, moving actively ahead, but everything is not clear at all. Then after the university years, I worked 10 years as an entrepreneur. And I think that was extremely important also when thinking now. In a company, you can't start to do everything so that you solve all the problems that you might imagine there comes later on in the future. When you have solved all those, make all the rules, the bidding process is over. So it's too late. So you just have to take the risk. You have to be able to take the risk and start to implement things. And when the issues are coming, then you are solving them. So that was the idea of this slide. And we have today have already really good and interesting presentations. And here are in the audience people who know possibly much better the topic which I have today. For example, I could imagine that Professor Pericles Mitkas knows quite a lot about the issue. Then also, of course, Drahoslav and Gianni has presented many things about the Invest Alliance, which are also included in my presentation, so those parts I can keep quite short. But I try to take then a bit more maybe practical point of view to these issues then, because lots of background and theory we have heard already. Nevertheless, a couple of words about European strategy for universities. As said, today our society needs more than ever the contribution of its universities. And we have about 5,000 higher education institutions, 17.5 million tertiary education students, 1.35 million people teaching them, and 1.17 million researchers. And when thinking about these numbers, I think that it looks self-evident that we can do huge amount of things and solve all the possible problems. But of course, that is not maybe always the case. And I think maybe that's why, or also because of the reasons we heard about, we need more resilience, we need to be more effective and strong as European Union, affecting on things what are happening in the world and how we contribute to the science and science innovations and industry. So European Union intends to increase the effectivity of universities to contribute implementing the European Union political agenda. And I think that now when we have heard all the other points of view, it's good to think about this European Union political agenda. So that's why universities need to be developed also. It's not only for that it's nice for students or teachers and things like that, and it's good to have mobility. So, for example, this point 4, reinforce universities as drivers of European Union's global role and leadership. It's very important. And also, green and digital transition, European way of life, which means equality, for example, individuality, equality, freedom. So those things are very important, and thinking about our Invest Alliance, these are very strongly in our strategy. Then there are 4 flagship initiatives working in synergy and are boosting the European cooperation in higher education sector. As we heard already, Erasmus Plus European University Initiative, and a legal statute for alliances of higher education institutions for European universities and other type of alliances. And that's also the part of the topic of my speech today. How to reach that, and is it needed, and what are the obstacles? A joint European degree, and then also a student card initiative. We know that 41 university alliances have been started by now, and the target is to increase the number to 60 by mid-2024. And there is many good targets for that. And many of these have been discussed already. So I'm not going to read those aloud, to fasten the presentation a little bit. But I'll show the picture about what university alliances can be. They can be lighthouses of European way of living. And the picture is from our city. And the name of this wooden big building is Lighthouse. And it's really wooden building, and it's one of our living labs as well. And that's why it's important to be in the presentation today. University alliances can serve actors of change in twin green and digital transition, drivers of Europe's global role and leadership. They can be a new framework for enhancing European cooperation. And then we are coming to a nice interactive part to avoid you falling asleep, even if you are waiting for the food now. So this is my alliance for only this only seminar or presentation. So there is a set of questions for you to reply, such as according to your opinion, and I emphasize your opinion. It's not your university opinion, or it's not very, don't take it too seriously. Do it fast. What is your opinion about alliances? Should we join to form really a one university, and what kind of joint activities we should have? There is, let me see how many questions we made. Was it like 4 questions? So there are instructions, so quickly go through those and just click how you feel. I'm not going to use the results for anything special, only for boosting this speech here a little bit. So we will take 2 minutes and then we check the results. Well, let's say so that there aren't all possible choices. There are also some choices to make this a bit faster, and you can't put your own new choices either in there. As I said, it's not so serious, but showing a little bit may be the way. Because when discussing with the people in different universities, of course, everybody are not supporting alliances. It's same in all kind of merges and new things. People are against new things, basically. I have been involved in university merges in Finland. I was leading the international relations in universities of Joensuu and Kuopio, and they merged together some 10 years ago to University of Eastern Finland. And it was really hard process. Most people were against it. And it resulted lots and lots of fears and difficulties. Even though we did the merge, and lately maybe most of people are happy about it. Me, about the merge. Do you mean that I should say something about the merging of 2 universities, how I felt it? I would say that I wasn't supporting it so much, because the distance of the universities were quite long. But now it sounds a bit ridiculous to say that, because distance of our universities in this alliance are, of course, much more, thousands of kilometers, but also the idea is a bit different. But that merge was because of national policy, and these alliances are because of European Union policy. So both are more or less political decisions or boosted politically. Okay, has everybody finished the results, if it's working from here? No. Then, yeah, they are trying to. Then, where are the results? I can't do it from here, but
the link is not working for the results.
It's not. No. Okay.
I can't find another one. Maybe it's this one. Just give me a second.
Yes, and if we can't show it from there,
just give me a second.
Riina has the results now.
Sorry, it's just the
it's
the questions.
Mutta Riina, you have the results there. I can just then read the results to you. Sorry for that, we didn't test beforehand with this system here. Okay. First was asked, according to your opinion, should your university, together with other alliance universities, form a European university legal entity in the near future? And if we are not thinking about the money we are getting for project. So there was 60% of us replied definitely yes. And 37% probably yes, and the rest don't know. Then, according to your opinion, should your university alliance merge totally in all activities? 21% thought so. Oh, now they are here. Nice. That's easy. Okay. Okay, we are here. Do I? This one. Oh, great. No, I can show.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You just make this.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, we checked this. We went through this already. Then the next one. I can't do here anything. Can you scroll up? Yeah, good. Number 2. Should your university alliance, meaning now I think mostly Invest, merged totally in all activities 21%, merged partly by forming joint research centers and other research activities 30%, merged partly, mainly providing like commercial services, which some alliances are providing 24%, and continue collaboration with alliance members activities 1. Yes, and then okay. According to your opinion, what is the main obstacle in your university's point of view in forming European University as a legal entity? And governance structure seems to be the most important obstacle. Second, don't go back down. Yeah. Differences in national policies, which is obvious. Also, no, nevertheless, it is now. Can you still scroll down a little bit? Back here, okay. But then there are things like staff commitment, which I think that we should take seriously as well. And then there are like student commitment, not very important or seen as very important because I guess they are then more committed. But language barriers and fear of our university staff, what's going to happen to their positions and things like that. Okay, and now the fourth one. According to your opinion, how important it is for the European Union that universities form pan-European alliances? So this was for us to think, is it really important for the European Union? 39% thinks very important, 45% important, then don't know or not important at all. So things are not so easy and clear yet. Okay, now we can continue the presentation. So, I think that it was a really nice exercise. Thank you a lot. So now it's good to see what is our joint strategy, actually. What we are targeting in our Invest. Invest Competitive University for a Sustainable Society is an alliance committed to developing European higher education to address the sustainability challenges of our time. We are aiming at creating a truly unique European inter-university campus where students, academics, researchers and staff will move and collaborate as freely as with their institutions of origin. We have committed to design undergraduate and graduate programs, co-creation of mutual services, development of staff capabilities, digitalization of crucial processes with the aim of developing the European virtual campus. So many things leading to more deep collaboration. And here you can see a picture of research development and innovation strategy, how it is moving towards the joint vision. And as you see, this is only the research strategy, but the path is pretty much the same. From more mobility to joint research centers, and then also later on to global cooperation. Why then European universities need a European legal statute? And this is European Commission's text. A legal statute for European universities is important to mutualize their strengths together, make common strategic decisions, act together with a legal personality, and facilitate pooling together resources, activities, and data. Such statute would facilitate deeper, long-term and flexible transnational cooperation, allowing sharing of capacities, exchange staff, and the implementation of education programs with the aim to award at the level of the Alliance a European degree. And also, when thinking about international cooperation with the rest of the world, it would be much easier to operate as one legal statute to make agreements, possibly sell services, and do research cooperation than what it is without. Then we are moving to national policy. What obstacles we have? And here are some of them, which are most obvious. National funding structure of the universities. In many countries, it depends, for example, one way or another on number of produced graduates. Bachelor's, master's, and PhDs. National policy for different disciplines, number of graduates, and so on. In many countries, the national policy somehow decides what disciplines are taught and in which university. With research, everything is much easier. It also might set number of targeted graduates. And if we put all the universities together, it starts to be quite complicated. National or regional strategy might set priorities for research and development, and that depends on funding. National regulations for structure of degree courses. For example, in our Invest Alliance, we have science universities, but also universities of applied sciences. And both the targets of the education, but also the structure might be different. For example, in Finland, the master's degree in universities of applied sciences, after bachelor, it requires 2-year working experience, and only then you can take the master's level. And that is quite challenging now. Then, of course, when thinking about staff, if we are trying to have joint staff in some point, differences in national policies in taxation, pensions, social security, insurance questions. Different career paths at universities. In some universities, for example, you might have vice rectors of different things like international issues. In some other places, they might be directors. So how to tackle that? Because it's very important for people who are holding those positions, and so on. Current legal body of each university has been set up in accordance with the national law, and there might be differences, and so on. Then what other obstacles we might face? And those we saw already, some in which also you recognized in the questionnaire. Lack of staff commitment, staff's fear for change, and that is very important, and it's also very obvious. Usually when we are merging some activities, there are too many people in the end and somebody has to leave. And at least that's a big fear. Lack of student commitment, extra efforts without compensation, and this is important, and I think most of us has faced it already. So if we put more new tasks for our teachers, for example, or other stuff, because of this merging issue, they might not be so interested about it, because if it's not compensated, if they just have to do it with earlier jobs. Language barriers for teachers and students, facilities and if lots of teachers would start to come and students to our university, where should we put them, where they can live, who is paying that? Fear for universities changing status and autonomy. If we are merging, who is going to be the leading one? Is nobody listening our voice anymore? For example, I'm coming from the University of Applied Sciences, and soon everybody else are science universities. Slow procedures to change old university structures. Even the decision making can be quite slow. How to include the alliance in the decision making. And also one problem is that now alliance is only one separate project. How seriously everybody are taking it? Is it already now more than project? And what happens if project funding is ending? Increasing bureaucracy. That's of course something that we should try to avoid as well as we can. And also fear about what happens to academic freedom. Then what we can do already easily together if we want to, and very much depends on what we want to do. There aren't so many things that are illegal, and law is not law is not against hardly anything. So in research we can already do, and we are doing also already some things. We can do research, joint research. We can start joint research centers. We can have joint projects and funding applications, customized commercial research, joint innovations and entrepreneur incubators if we wish to, shared infrastructures, resources. We can share living labs and so on. In education, we can provide double or multiple degree programs. We can have shared pool of study modules and courses, which are recognized automatically if we so decide in our universities. We can share teaching stuff. We can jointly offer commercial courses, as some alliances are already doing. We can provide continuous education, micro-credentials and professional training courses. Almost anything, but we can't yet, we haven't solved how to provide one and only European degree of our programs. And then we can, for example, start a distance campus outside European Union, for example, somewhere in Global South with the staff from each Alliance university, and do other outreach activities, which I think would be very important to start to think. Not necessarily, of course, first thing a distance campus. We can start incubators such as design factory type in cooperation with industry, and living labs open to be used by all Alliance members. So there are extremely many things which we can do. Then before we can have lunch, some recommendations as well. Taking an action-based approach motivates and includes both students and staff. As soon as there are some actions they can do and they can participate, it's much more motivating than just talking. And motivating all things which we can do to motivate people are important. What do we need? We will need well-functioning structure to solve the upcoming issues and challenges when we face those. As I started in the beginning, that we can't solve everything beforehand. We just have to start acting. Management structure to guarantee equality of member universities, also in the future. Then we need more risk-taking ability and resilience management skills, more enthusiasm and ambitious targets. We need to start more real actions in a big way. Staff and student mobility, research centers together, annual happenings, student affairs, science festivals, and so on, showcasing the potential benefits. Provide positive experiences and visions. More inclusive involvement of whole staff, students, and other stakeholders, so that invest is not only for small amount of administrators. And provide proper resources and support for our staff to participate and be happy about it. Then one more point in closing remarks. All our Alliance member universities are expected to benefit the collaboration, as it should help us to better address our own institutional challenges and strategic goals, as well as fulfilling together the European strategic targets and mission as universities. Alliance should be strongly visible in our university strategies, our individual university strategies, as a visible tool for transformation. And that is something that we are still lacking, even in the most new strategies of our individual universities. And that is a problem not only in our alliance, but generally in Europe, in all alliances and alliance member universities. And the last picture, Invest European University, reaching high. So we have started already nicely. We have joint courses and strategies and all. And in the end, sun is rising nicely. So I wish that we have nice way together to develop Invest Alliance. So thank you for your attention, and I guess no comments because everybody are hungry. So thank you.